Alright, guys, so this is a commentary slash analysis of Batman 89. First of its kind, the still still holds up in my opinion. One of my favorites, my favorite being Batman Returns from the Burton ones. But oof, what a movie, what a movie. So we have a lot of good stuff to go through. So let's start movie. Of course, as always, if you've seen my videos on Batman, there is I it's not a straight frame by frame commentary. I often stop to give analysis and thematics and own interpretations, whether it be the lore, the fighting systems. I love martial arts a lot. The acting, the choice, the cast, the visuals, the aesthetic, the direction, whatever the case may be. So let's just jump in it. I don't know how much I will cover each time, but let's fucking do it. So Warner Brothers at the top of its game. Wait a second. Be right back. Okay, so let's go. And we start with the fanfare, the score, the anthemic. See the Batman, and we're just starting so strong. In a way, it was as compelling. The music, of course, if you don't know this analogy, this what happens. It was the first time Danny Elfman was making the score, and he was recording the score or testing it. I'm not sure, but it was the first time that Warner Brothers producers went, "Oh my God, guys, have you heard this? It's like it's crazy good." So it was the movie that birthed the just the soundtrack era, the way uh, to produce for the movie, of course, the soundtrack, but then to sell it later for fans because it wasn't a thing before. So this movie created this market really. So it was crazy, and of course, was very weird also was what are we seeing? What are these gray walls and gray? Of course, must be a Burton thing, but just having a camera roll down the symbol with the score was just epic. It still holds up. I love this mapping of Garden City, very real, very fantastic. I love the lots. I love, of course, it is a lot, yeah, but it was so huge, and for the time, the birth of the modern blockbuster. I mean, there was Star Wars and Superman, but and I love the, of course, as we see them. Well, we see them, and we don't have to believe it because, of course, the first thing we think is a man and his wife with a son. It's like, oh, it's the Waynes, and they're about to be killed. But of course, the son has a map. He doesn't know Gotham, so that makes no sense. And they don't seem rich because they're looking for a taxi and walking around. So, of course, the first time you see it, you might not catch on to these details, but it's just to say that two parents with a boy the same age Bruce was, is just a perfect parallel to begin walking in a dirty alley. Maybe it is crime alley, who knows? You have the crooks, muggers, and of course, everyone that saw this animation went, "Oh no, what have they done?" I don't. Maybe it was just a last second thing that they don't have much time to refine or whatever. It's not important because we are about to see the real thing in a matter of seconds. So maybe it was a joke on Burton's side, like, ah, got you. You're like, you thought it was going to be crappy, but no. And of course, I love the creasy crack scars, the slang, it's just the fume. Oh, he looks so good. He's like, that's what I love about Tim Burton's movies is that they could be silent movies, and of course, if you see them in black and white, it's just like a classic, pure masterpiece. It's like a '60s film, but with '90s technology, and oh my god, and oh my god, he's dead. No, the revenant, the creature, the demon that never kills, that never dies. First gadget, but it's very physical, it's very realistic still. And of course, we see the first movement Mike Keaton and the first line. Batman. And of course, he disappears. So, Bill D. Williams as Harvey Dent. It took me a first watch to realize that there was a place for Bruce Wayne and it's not there, of course. Just just beside Jim Gordon. Yeah, it's in plain sight, Bruce Wayne. And now we fall. I love the aesthetic of this room. I love the fact that Jack, not Jack Nicholson, but Jack Napier, have been really has the soul of an artist. And when he says later he makes art until someone dies, and of course another parallel between the juxtaposition of the photos of the top models and the artsy paintings slash photographs, and that the woman he is, of course, is his boss's girlfriend. He doesn't know, but she just She just looks like a model. She probably is. So Jack Nicholson, what can we say? He is having the time of his life. He knew exactly what he was going into. Meaning for, I won't say just for the money, because he is not lazy in his performance at all. He is always on top of every situation. He is on, of course, my favorite Joker after Mark Hamill. Um, he's. I'll pause right here to think. Is he my favorite Joker? My favorite live action Joker. See, it's if you've seen my commentary on The Dark Knight Returns, I talk about and all that it played behind for, not of course the dirty cop, of course, had to happen in Gotham City. Oh, of course we have to talk about Knox. I love Robert Rule's charisma, and he's he's comedic, but he's kind of light, and after taxes. I love his theatricality. I love his body movement. I just, it was, it's a, I think I'm not mistaken when I say he's an invented character for this movie, because I've never seen him in the comics. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. So it was a great little addition, because they could have done just for a straightforward journalist. But no, he has some flair, he has some eccentricity, he has some. He's the only guy who believes Batman exists until Vicky Vale arrives. So he's just a fun character to have around and still stay serious for the tone of the movie. But yeah, coming back to the Joker, yeah, I talked about iterations when I talked about Batman in The Dark Knight Returns, because that's the, I won't say problem, but that's the thing that is hard when they say, "Oh, what's your favorite Batman movie? Who's your favorite Joker? Who's your favorite Batman?" It's like it's not that simple. There are so many good iterations of their time, of their circumstances, of their budget, of their background, of their production, of the take on the character, and of course, I mean, it's very hard. Again, for long, my favorite Batman was Christian Bale, because when I saw Batman Begins, my world, I was quite young, and my expectations just like blew up, because it was the first time that we've seen Batman train and being physically in shape, and but that's all he was. But whatever. And Michael Keaton, what I what I learned later, and that I loved, is that Tim Burton said it himself. He said, Michael Keaton is perfect for Batman because nobody would ever think that this Bruce Wayne is Batman. He doesn't have the attitude. He doesn't have the huge muscular body. He doesn't seem to know how to defend himself. He doesn't seem the type at all would go into the night and beat criminals with his bare hands. He doesn't look the part at all, and that's why it's so great. Because when we see Batman, of course, that's why I'm talking about iterations. But Michael Keaton knew to not really change his voice, but to tone it down a little. Like Pattinson toned down here, Michael Keaton toned down like here. And it was a little more growly, a little more, um, a little more gravitas, but still, you can hear very well what he says, and it's just the perfect amount of darkness for this version. He's like a because for the most part, and that's another thing Tim Burton understood about Batman, is he doesn't make speeches. He doesn't speak. He is like a silent film actor. He appears from nowhere. He is invisible, and when you can see it, glitches of him, he just stays inside and doesn't talk, or talk at the minimum he needs. He won't go into a speech. He will say the absolute minimum he has to say to get his point across. So, returning to the Joker, back on the movie, I would say that, of course, Jack Nicholson is the Joker. When you look at all his filmography, all his soul as an actor, he is the character in many ways. So it's hard to have like compare it with the great Heath Ledger, rest in peace, who was in real life. I don't know, but doesn't seem to be the master of anarchy and chaos. He doesn't seem to be the grunge terrorist type, and but he built a character from scratch, that one of the most popular characters of all time, and he did it by himself. So that's very commendable too. So of course, but I don't like Christopher Nolan at all. His Batman movies, but I love Tim Burton. Tim Burton are my favorites. So I like my trilogy is Batman Returns, Batman, and The Batman by Matt Reeves. I think, and I think the sequel by Matt Reeves will go further and further to the top. And but still, keeping with this movie, I love the big sets. I love I still see things I haven't seen before, like ghosts, like we see behind the mayor and Harvey Dent and Gordon, the kind of priests that are whole sculptures of priests that are holding the globe in their on their backs. It's just very like Atlas, like like Greek myths. Like the city is so rich. These sets are so incredible and artful, and hello legs. And it's a great way to introduce Kim Basinger. Oh my God, is she gorgeous! Wow. Knocks, you knucklehead. And they reference Carter Maltese. I like that. of course, and I love the main writer on the for the about the Burton movies is a man called Sam Ham. And I ever, if there's any miracle that can happen in the world for my voice to travel to his location, Mr. Ham, whatever you're doing, I don't know if you're dead, I don't know if you're alive, but please, if you don't want to make Batman movies, fine, but do more movies. Your scripts are perfection, are excellence. I mean, to be in this in 1988 and write this script, it's like credible. And it's so, I love good, of course, efficient movies as don't have much filler and everything. And I love the and I love this duo. It took a 4 minute scene. She said it all. She said, "My picture, your words, Pulitzer Prize material." And it's like, yeah, it's the perfect duo, and that that covers the journalist part of the Batman side, and now we enter the criminal element. And Jack has already his purple suit. Me. And he knows. Oh, the look. And of course, just by the window, we can see the sculptures outside. So intricate, so beautiful, so gothic. And the type of just check the architecture of the room and it's so beautiful. It leaves you speechless. I'm speechless. It's like I can't believe they did it in '89. I cannot believe it. In '88. Lucky deck. And of course, the crime boss, because he was sleeping with his girlfriend, the crime boss is sending Jack Napier to the griller. And I like that. And again, cut right here, no one lost. Great rhythmic scene about a great story to, of course, say the festival. And of course, another thing I didn't get first time I saw it when I was younger, because they talked about the 200 anniversary of Gotham City, and that they are anxious about it because of the criminal of the crimes and the gang of the crime syndicates in the city. I love. Oh, Michael Go is so great. I mean, what can you say that hasn't been said about Michael Go? Perfect casting for the ages, and and first scene, and here we are. First scene, she taps on his back. What would Batman do? Batman already knows she's in his bag before she touches. What would Bruce Wayne do? Hmm? Look left? Of course, the loser kind of. I say loser, but you know what I mean. You say, of course, he turns on the wrong side, turns on the right, gets a little confused, and she just asks, who is Bruce Wayne in here? And he says, and he looks around and says, I'm not sure. And of course, when I was young, I didn't understand. I was like, why is he saying that? He's Bruce Wayne. But Bruce Wayne is not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is Batman. So when she asks which one of these guys is Bruce Wayne, he doesn't know. He's not sure because he's not sure who he is outside of the mask. So, brilliant thing that nobody in '89 should have thought of except Burton. That the mind, and of course, it's kind of a shame. I have to say it someplace in this movie. Kind of a shame what Burton has produced for the last years. I would very love, very well like it to get back with Sam Ham, do some more Batman movies. And he's always like awkward and not comfortable in his body and confused, and he looks everywhere and he plants his stilo in a bush, and he almost break his glass, and he's he's not there at all. And Alfred catches his every mistake because of course that's that that's what. And of course, Michael Keaton, it took someone like Michael Keaton to understand that there are the three sides of Batman and the two sides, because there is the Bruce Wayne. And I love how this Bruce Wayne is not a playboy, the public figure of Bruce Wayne. He's just a rich guy. He's not a playboy. He's not a ladies' man. He's not He's nothing of that. He's just an awkward rich boy that is not really, I mean, he is good looking, but he is not the best looking guy in the world. And he's like a normal guy, but just like really charismatic and rich. That's it. There's nothing else to him. And at first, of course, that's what people see it as. He's just make charitable donations, and of course, he stands with the city's committee on this and that because he has won the prizes. But apart from that, he is just an awkward little guy, and very very introverted again, and that's what I didn't like with Christian Bale. Christian Bale was always in public, off public, whatever. He was always kind um, of course, he was playing a playboy side, but he he was always bigger than a human. And Michael Keaton doesn't make you think he is some kind um, of bigger than nature person. He's not the no, he's not a celebrity. He's not a all that doesn't hold for Michael Keaton. He's very secretive. Secretive, yeah, is the perfect word for it. Because anyway, I'll continue. There, Gordon is playing playing the tables with his wife, and Knox is, of course, Excuse me. And of course, she can't find Bruce Wayne. And I love Gordon. Of course, I would have loved. That's the only little. I have to pause it again because this scene is so great. The scene with all the armors from different parts of the world, the museum, whatever you want to call it. That's the only thing I. But of course, this movie is already in 1999, 1989. A 2 hour movie is enough. We couldn't. It wasn't 2022 with the Batman and 3 hour movies. It's like it's you couldn't do it. So I mean, I would have liked for this. Pattingle was a great choice for Commissioner Gordon. I would have liked to have a little more material with him, but at the same time, I understand Tim Burton's vision that even when I always have the same vision in my head. It's with each time I watch Batman Returns and Batman saves the day from the circus gang. You say, "Thanks for saving the day, Batman." And they have just a quick Batman as like says 3 words and disappear. He's like, that's another thing with this Batman. He is so secretive and so in the shadows and so silent. He doesn't stand with Jim 2 feet apart like Christopher Nolan's Batman, and he doesn't appear in broad daylight before anybody, but before Gordon and talk long sentences or just a regular conversation. No, no, none of that. He is a real creature. They don't talk. He's a monster of the night. He's a creature of darkness. He doesn't stay and talk and wait and act like a normal human being. He is not a human being. That's what I like. And we have the museum, the room with all the armors from all over the world. And it was the perfect place because, again, show don't tell. This room tells you so much about Bruce Wayne. It tells you everything. You see the knight armor with the weapons. Again, Batman's training. We see the statues from armors from different side of the world, from all over the world, in fact. And of course, well, Batman has studied and mastered every style from every country he's visited. And of course, Michael Keaton again, not saying anything until he's Japanese, because I bought it in Japan. And of course, she's hurt because what the fuck? You're Bruce Wayne? Yeah, this time I'm sure. No, 6 is good. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, Keaton, well, and again, Give Max a grand. And of course, the real world sets in. The secrecy, the obsession. I love this piece of music as the first time we go deep into the cave. The tempo just slows and the melody is mysterious. And again, we never see Bruce Wayne fully in the light or very lightly. He's always in the shadows. And there he transforms just by taking his glasses off. Because do you think Batman needs glasses? Of course not. It's in his head. It's in his persona. It's again we have the police squad moved by Eckhart, who is paid by Grissom to take down Jack Napier, who is just there on a setup, and of course who will appear to set the stage. And again, we have the character beats done. Okay, perfect. Let's go to action beats. Let's go to character creation of the Joker. Oh, setup. And again, the music starts. Dun, 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 dun. Again, the smoke. And I don't know why, I love I mean, even in in Matt Reeves' The Batman 2022, the cops in Gotham always wear leather coats. I don't know why, but I love it. It makes them imposing and serious, and the big leather coats with a tie and their gloves and their high boots. It's make really like I would be afraid to take on a cup like that. They seem imposing, and I like that. Not just like little cups like in Nolan verse. And Napier is blowing up the place to save his ass. So, whose fault was it? We'll get there. Best scene in the movie coming up. And he appears. He looks magnificent. First reveal, disappears. Of course, a lot of green liquid. Again, great shootout. Ah. Pure brutality. Here, we don't see him. Swung by gracefully. And I love how Burton's cinematography. Well, it's not. I mean, he's a cinematographer. I don't know who he is, but game of shadows that is always playing in every frame is crazy. Like especially with Batman, of course, but it makes him look gorgeous and it embellishes him. And like right there, the shadows, the light, shadows again. We don't see his eyes. We don't see his eyes. That's terrifying. Again, we don't see his eyes really. Nice outfit, and he smiles like a psychopath. Oh, disappears. And Batman again. And we have the greatest scene in the movie. So, okay. So Batman just, and again, I'm just trying to cover my tracks here. Just checking. I still did. Yeah, okay. Uh, because, of course, he didn't see the bullet. He didn't. It's just a, it's just to protect his face because his body, like we always say, this is what's not protected. This is bulletproof. So by doing that, and we know his gauntlet from his future fight scenes that his gauntlets are bulletproof, swordproof. They're fucking hard, so they can deflect the bullet. The fact that it rebounded and hit Jack Napier in the face and split his nerves around his mouth is pure, again, pure. What do you say? Chaos? What do you say? By bad luck, one bad day. Know where I'm going. So, and again, this is the greatest scene because, okay, so he's about to fall in a pool of acid or whatever it is, and Batman is holding on to him. We just saw Batman, again, the little Michael Keaton, take him like this and raise him up. Do you know how Jack Napier is far heavier than Michael Keaton, than Bruce Wayne? We saw him. He's not the thin guy. He's a little chubby. So and he's taller. So Michael Keaton didn't sweat it. He just Batman just left him up, and we see him like this. Left him up like from both his feet without struggling at all. So we know the problem definitely is not that he is not strong enough. So what's happened here? He's seeing a crook like the one who killed his parents. Of course, that's another thing for another time. But for right now, Batman sees. I like the fact, like Robin Pattinson, said. He said in an interview, Batman sees every criminal he fights as the one who has killed his parents. That's why he's always so brutal, so efficient, so without pity, because he sees them all. They're all the same, and he has the same level of disgust for them all, and that's why I think it is like we see in this again, best scene of a movie, not a word. So, okay, Batman has got him. He can lift him up. Couldn't he? Couldn't he just lift him up? What's the problem? He's not strong enough? We just saw him lifting him. So what's the problem? Now he's too weak? Suddenly? I don't think so. So he has the choice. He can save a criminal like Jack Napier, who just killed a man. Like he could save him from, again, what's going down in this basin of chemical materials nobody knows, but must not be good for health purposes. So yeah, so save his life or leave life to decide what happens, because it's not his fault. Jack Napier put himself in this situation by trying to kill Batman. So again, Batman does not kill. Batman, if the criminals get himself into trouble, that's not Batman's problem. So, and there's nothing to say that in his mind. So again, this scene I could go along all night. Is he letting him fall? Is he letting him go? Is he letting him to his death? Because he couldn't. Is he just disgusted and the weight of the disgust is just too much to bear? Is it by just because the look? Because like I'm looking at Jack Napier holding on, then we see Batman's face and the eyes, just the look in his eyes. You see him, and he's not. I mean, of course, he's using strength, but is he really struggling, like sweating balls, sweating bullets, and oh my God, what he could grapple him with his gadget. He could take both his hands. He could do a lot of things if he wanted to really save him. So what is he really going for here? And just his eyes, again, a second of limbo. We see the pit of acid below, and we have the look, the eyes, the eyes going wide, and oh my God, the hate, the disgust, the feeling of the criminal, his anger, his disgust for the criminal mind, all encapsulated in one look. And does he let go? Is he too heavy? Or is it just fate? I'll leave that up to you. He falls. Left, no. Right, no. No time to lose. Move on. And that's another thing. And again, the gruesome nature of the hand, the cards, of course, and the hand, the white hand raising. And of course, I know I'm pausing a lot, but again, I know every Batman actor has said, I think except for Pattinson, I think in 2022 and so on, we have the technology to create a suit that is better for the actor. But he still said he was sweating like crazy all the time. But I know, especially in those times, I know it was hell for the actors and stunt doubles. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But that's why I hated when Nolan changed the suit in the dark in his trilogy, because the first suit again was bulky, and yet he couldn't turn his head. Did you ever? I'm the biggest Batman fan in the world, or one of them. I have never in my life asked myself in the comics, in the animated, or in the real movies, oh, why can't he turn his head? I have never once asked myself this question. Batman does what he does best, he does it perfectly, each and every time, and that's it. He's not complaining at the end of the day, oh, my fucking head, oh, I can't turn, this armor is too heavy, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. I like the stoic nature, like we just saw. Like Batman is like a ballerina when we see him move, when we see him step. He's always light-footed, like an animal chasing, like a snake ready to attack. He's so light in his big bulky armor. He's so light-footed, and the fact, yeah, he has to turn his body to see. Okay, but it's like when he did the punch without seeing. Why did he succeed? Because he's Batman. He has knowledge none of us have. He is, he is bigger than nature. He is bigger than rules. He is bigger than vision periphery. Because you want to say another thing, Nolan? Because I trash Nolan all the time, every time I can. Oh, he cannot turn his head. Hey, he cannot hear anything in this suit. Every actor said it. First thing happens, you can't hear shit. Do you think Batman can't hear shit? No, of course not. The suit is better designed than what we see in the movie because it's Batman. It's a billionaire. He has spent who knows how many on this suit, and he has created it himself perfectly from top to bottom with everything, every last bit of his resources. So, okay, he can hear. And again, with the big foam latex mask, hey, newsflash, Nolan, he probably has no periphery vision at all. But do you think Batman has no periphery vision? Of course he does. Because his senses go through that. Batman is the kind of guy who you let in a bat suit, in a swimming suit, in a bat. I mean, it's a bat suit, but not bat bat, a bathing suit in the Arctic, and it will melt the ice just with his meditation power. I just saw that in a comic book. He is that kind of psycho. He's that kind of crazy trained guy who has upheld the discipline of Olympians. He has at a whole another level of human being. So that's why I just want to say for the suit because it drives me nuts. Okay, so he says it's the acid. I've never heard that before. Power of headphones. And I love that they're just pure journalists, basics, and we don't know. Fuck. And of course, straight. I don't know. They just said, okay, we've seen a pattern. The Batman goes from there to there to there. I've never seen any journalist or anyone do that in any Batman movie. And now, okay, we have the date with at Wayne Manor, and there are this the big, of course, unromantic again. silent, wants as much distance from the other as possible. Uh, I love this line. I don't think I have ever been in this room before. And again, this playful nature. And we saw Batman, Vicky Vale had red wine, and that again, red wine. We see an empty bottle of wine, and you see she has red wine, and Batman has a clear golden liquid, which is, of course, ginger ale. Because why doesn't he drink the red wine like the others? And I love that they have just a little heartfelt little dinner with Alfred, and like it's just so it's so of course heartful and full of warmth, and it really builds the rapport on Alfred and Bruce. I mean, much more than in a lot of other iterations of Batman, because again he gets a drink to Vicky. Oh, he served himself a drink. Okay. But yeah, just to finish, because I don't think I ever saw. I mean, there are plenty of emotional scenes in the Nolan trilogy in the new Batman. They have emotional scenes with Alfred, but I don't like that they're just playing an emotion, because the core of Alfred is warmth. Is uh, uh, he's another father, and he has never claimed to be. But who he is the anchor of Bruce's on. He is the anchor of Bruce's humanity, and how do we keep that healthy? A minimum, at least, is with scenes like this. I mean, that's all it took. Just three chairs and a good conversation and some wine with some food. Just a little dinner, intimate dinner with just three people. And with Alfred, who doesn't have who is in regular clothes and can speak his mind, and he's not a majordome. He's not a kind of slave, whatever. He's just a human being who is taking care of what his best friends uh, gave him in their death. So all it took, it Burton did more with just that scene than Nolan did in three movies. And we have the old sketchy surgery basement, the German doctor. of course, we don't see. Drags the light, and he just laughs and laughs and laughs. And we still hear laughter when Bruce and Vicky. Of course, Bruce is completely faking being drunk. I'm drinking, I'm fine. And yeah, it's me. The reveal. What a reveal it is. Again, playing on shadows. Shadows, shadows, shadows. Woman. Three and two and Jack is dead, my friend. And light. Joker. What a day. And again, call back to just takes one bad day. So I love it. And now we have the weirdest, and of course, Batman can't sleep at night. Batman doesn't sleep at night. His biological clock doesn't stick to that. But what does he want? What is he really? It's 3:15 in the morning. And what does he do? Weirdest, never explained scene, just being glancing and just sleeping in reverse like a bat. It's crazy. Oh, on the day sleeping. And I love how not Jim, how the Joker or Jack Nicholson always, he always breathes like this. He's always seem out of breath because he always seem ready to burst in laughter and madness and who knows. Uh, and Batman has a headache. What is this normal life? So the the gang member reunion. No one wants a war. Again, a lot of classic Joker weapon. Woo! And again, the paintings, and I know I have the Joker in front of me, and I'm talking about the paintings, but Bob, good old Bob, number one, and guy. Bob is so cool. She's just fucking nuts. That's one thing I love most about this Joker is that he has no perfect plan. He doesn't have any. He doesn't seem like bad. He's just nuts. He just lost it completely. He's a normal gangster that lost it, and it was a background chemistry. That's it. That's all he is, and that's enough. We don't need a Joker to bomb 30 hospitals and to put boats of people in a philosophic plot. It's like, no, we don't need that. We just need pure madness because that's the antithesis of what Batman is. That's it. That's enough. I mean, those scenes we saw with Jack Nicholson doesn't seem to cost a fortune, but they're efficient because they're true to the character, and the actor is great. That's all you need. But it's same thing for Batman. We don't need to see him. Batman is mysterious, and the more mystery we have, the best the character is. Of course, I'm talking about this iteration. This iteration is the mysterious and silent part of the Batman mythos, because we never see. He keeps everything in. He doesn't tear up. He doesn't talk. He doesn't do anything. But it seems so much more painful. He just looks around and sees nothing. It's just emptiness. And it is this emptiness he has to fill with the suit. Because right now, it's like it doesn't even exist. It's like the scene we'll see in a few seconds. So I'm at the scene that their reporters are talking to the mob bosses. The mime. And Bruce Wayne is just not like, the fuck you want. He has the face of a stone cold killer. Time to pay the check. Music swings, truly mightier than the sword. And even then, as the bullets fly, Bruce is just like advancing and advancing, almost gets shot. He is completely hypnotized. Guns are pointing at him. Hello. And he doesn't flinch at all. Because that's the first thing. What do humans do when they're scared? They flinch. What if you get punched? You flinch. You lift your arms. You cover yourself. You flinch, flinch, flinch. Humans are about flinch response, where attacked with fear and with violence. And we see that Batman has surpassed all of that, because for all the gunfire, and the death threats, I mean, he could have died right there and now. Uh, but of course, he was just completely hypnotized by the view of this new sadistic clownist criminal. Like he's just like his jaw was dropped, and he didn't understand, and he wasn't there at all. In his mind, he was Bruce Wayne doesn't exist. In his mind, maybe he's invisible or transparent, or the bullets go through him. You don't know what he thinks. He's as mad as the Joker, but in a different way, in a very different way. So that's Michael Keaton's Batman, and that's why he's great. And even while seeing Vicky, he doesn't speak to her. He does nothing. He just looks at her 1 second and departs. The boxing gloves crashes the TV, and the purple drapes, and Batman. Yeah, his version of Batman. He has access. I need all the information the police has on him. His file. So the detective side. But I love the B plot here that they were talking about Vicky, and I love the fact that um, Alfred lifts his toes when talking about her, like a certain weight lifts when she's here. Like it's true that the Wayne Manor must be so filled with tension, because every time Batman goes out, Alfred must be so stressed every living night. So, like you said, I am most relieved you're home, and he must tell himself that every morning when Batman gets back. And a file on the CIA, like he's creating his gas. I never saw that before. Like I said, telling you guys, discovering new things here. And he is in a, yeah, and the chemical boilers beside him. Never, but stop the press. He's working on his chemical. I love that the Joker transformed the place that made him into a base of operations to create a produce that makes people die from what he metaphorically died to. So, because this chemical Joker gas kills. In the comics, it just makes you laugh uncontrollably until fucking panic attacks, but in this version, it kills. And we have the first Joker advertisement, the first time Joker uh, mass does a mass commercial and appears just Joker filming his own little videos and showing them to the world. So again, for the first time, again, it was a lot on the lore, the comics, but for the first, not an actor. Put on a happy face, just like Joker 2019. Never catch that phrase before. So, okay, so the file. Well, on this for today, guys, we're at till 50% of the movie, so just finish with this, the detective side of this Batman. Chemistry. Huh. Who else got a degree on chemistry? The fucking Batman. Let's go shopping. And again, he doesn't go and says, "Okay, Lucius, I have been gassed, so I need you to make me an antidote," and blah blah blah. No. Batman gets the file. He says, "Okay, aptitude in chemistry. He created this. So I'm gonna go buy stuff, do my version of the chemistry that I've learned in my travels, in my training to be Batman, and figure this shit out himself." That's the Batman way. Of course, Vicky says she's gonna be 10 minutes late at the museum. And okay, so we're an hour in, so we'll conclude this tonight at that point. Um, Great to do this with you guys. And yeah, so that was my first half of Batman 89 commentary. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned some things or saw some things you didn't see before, or just enjoyed a real good movie that is the Burton Batman creation. So take care. Have a good Batman day or any other day you want, and see you next time with more Batman or something else.